హలో ఫ్రెండ్స్, ఈరోజు మనం 3 క్వశ్చన్స్ అనే పాఠంలో ఉన్న క్వశ్చన్స్ని చూద్దాం. ఇక్కడ నుంచి వై వాజ్ ద కింగ్ అడ్వైజ్ టు గో టు ద మెజిషియన్స్ నుంచి వాట్ వర్ ద హెర్మిట్స్ ఆన్సర్స్ టు ద 3 క్వశ్చన్స్ ఇక్కడ వరకు నేర్చుకుందాం. ఇప్పుడు మనం ఫస్ట్ క్వశ్చన్ చూద్దాం. Why was the king advised to go to the magicians? Why was the king advised to go to the magicians? Some of the wise men thought that to decide the right time to do something, one must look into the future, and only magicians were able to do that. So, they advised the king to go to the magicians. ఇప్పుడు సెకండ్ క్వశ్చన్లోకి వచ్చాం. In answer to the second question, whose advice did the people say would be important to the king? In answer to the second question, whose advice did the people say would be important to the king? In answer to the second question, some wise men believed that the king should have some counselors to give him advice. Some others said precepts. Some other wise men said that doctors' advice was the most important. And yet others believed that the soldiers were the most important. ఇప్పుడు థర్డ్ క్వశ్చన్ చూద్దాం. What suggestions were made in answer to the third question? What suggestions were made in answer to the third question? In answer to the third question, that is, what is the most important thing to do? Some wise men responded that science was the most important thing. Some others believed that fighting was the most crucial thing to do for a king. And the others said that religious worship was the most important thing to do. Did the wise man win the reward? If not, why not? No, none of the wise men won the reward. That is because all of them came up with different answers, and the king was not satisfied with any of those answers. How did the king and the hermit help the wounded man? First of all, the king cleaned the wound by washing it. Then he covered the wound with his handkerchief. He continued to dress the wound until the bleeding stopped entirely. The king gave some water to the wounded man to drink. The king and the hermit carried the wounded man inside the hut and let him take rest in the hut in the night. Who was the bearded man? Why did he ask for the king's forgiveness? The bearded man was the king's enemy. He had come there to take revenge from the king of his brother's death and take back his property. He asked for the king's forgiveness because he came to kill the king, and the king saved his life. The king forgave the bearded man. What did he do to show his forgiveness? The king forgave the bearded man. He showed his forgiveness by offering to send a doctor and servants to take care of the wounded man. He also promised to return his property too. What were the hermit's answers to the 3 questions? Write each answer separately. Which answers do you like the most and why? The hermit's answers to the 3 questions were: the right time to do something is now, because it is the only time when we can act. The most important person is the person you are with at a particular moment, because we don't know what will happen in the future. The most important thing to do is to do good to the person, because we are here on the earth for that purpose alone.